Shows shouldn't have more than 10 seasons. That's it. That's the end of the video. Unfortunately, I can't just say shows shouldn't have more than 10 seasons and just step out. No, I have to give reasons. I have to present my case of why shows shouldn't have more than 10 seasons. So here we go. Hi guys, my name is Sophia. What's up? I hope you consider to subscribe and follow me on my social media. I hope you like my space buns. They look like horns. Let's start with the video because I just don't have anything more important to say, and this video might be a little bit long because I might get too invested into this. A big passion of mine is watching shows. I love to binge watch. That's the only thing consistent in my life. Doesn't matter what is happening in my life, doesn't matter if I'm going through something, I'm always watching something on Netflix or Prime. I'm always watching a show, whether it's a new show or me just rewatching The Office for the 5th time. During quarantine, that would be probably May or April, I don't remember, but at some point in quarantine I decided to watch the entirety of the 15 seasons of Criminal Minds. Great decision, I don't regret it. One of my favorite shows, amazing. And I realized when I was getting into season 10 that I wanted to stop watching the show. Not because it's bad, but because I couldn't exactly put my finger on it. I couldn't exactly realize what it was. But I remember that that was the same feeling that I had when I was watching Grey's Anatomy and I reached to season 10. And I wondered, why is that? So I found something in common, which was that I felt the same way towards these two shows around season 10. And I decided to think and analyze, my favorite thing to do. Why is that? My high school teachers would be so proud of me and they wouldn't even fucking believe that I actually analyzed something. And I think I found a few reasons why I think that they should stop making shows post season 10, because they all suck after season 10. So I'm just gonna start and make my points. Here are my notes because I'm probably gonna forget a few of them, so let's get into it. My first point is character arc and character development. How much can you do for a character arc after 10 years? I think if the character at the beginning of the show is like 10 years old, you can probably make 10 seasons and not ruin the character, because the character is a kid and then the kid goes to high school and is a teenager and then it's a young adult, and I think there's a lot for you to do in that age range. But when your character, like in Grey's Anatomy and Criminal Minds, at the beginning of the show they're like 30 something or 20 something, I actually don't know how they're supposed to be, but they're between their 20s and their 30s. How much can they do? How much development can there be for 10 years plus? I don't think there's much character development that you can do right there. So in Grey's Anatomy, for example, Meredith Grey, the protagonist, back in season 1, she was an intern and dealing with, you know, her mom having Alzheimer's, and then she's also dealing with McDreamy and having an on and off relationship, and then finding out that he's married. Throughout the 10 first seasons of the show, she goes from being an intern to a resident to an attending. She gets into a serious relationship, then they get married and they have kids. You know, then on season 11 he dies and she's also pregnant, and then, you know, on season 12, okay, we see her dealing with grief, and then, but season 13, 14, 15, and the little that I saw from season 16, she's the same person. There's no change, and they're adding so many unnecessary drama. You know, I feel like her character development was done by season 12. In Criminal Minds, JJ, one of my favorite characters, from season 1 to season 10, we see her, she was a communication liaison, and then she went to Pentagon, and then she became a profiler, and then on her personal life, you know, she was single, then she met Will, and they had a kid, and then they got married, and then later on they had another kid. I feel like there was not much you could do with her because she had, you know, her life was perfectly balanced. There was nothing else that you can do, and they ruined that in season 14 and 15 because there's not much you can do, and you just add unnecessary drama to the situation because you want people to keep watching, so you just do whatever you can do to make people still watch the show. If you want me to make a video about Criminal Minds, I can easily do that. I would love to make one because I feel like I have a lot of strong opinions that I don't think they're necessary unpopular opinions, but I don't see people talking about them. Make a video about Criminal Minds because to grief, because I literally just rewatched Criminal Minds when I literally just watched it back in May. My second point, it's repetitive. Again, how much can you do for Grey's Anatomy, a medical drama, and Criminal Minds, you know, crime drama? Grey's Anatomy have had a bomb, a shooter, 2 plane crashes, car crash, one guy going to the military and dying, and just so many things. There's just so many. I feel like there's not that many things that you can do on Grey's Anatomy. There's just, they've done everything. And then on Criminal Minds, it's just the same thing all over again. You know, there's a serial killer, let's go, catch the guy, and that's it. And I feel like they've done a pretty good job to make it really interesting. And there's just so many that you can do, and it's just always repetitive. For me, Criminal Minds, I love Criminal Minds. I can watch season 1 to season 7 perfectly. But then after that, I only watch a few episodes. The ones that I find really interesting, like the ones with Spence and Maeve, and the ones with Audrey Plaza, the episodes with JJ and Will, because I personally like Will, so I love watching those episodes, and the episodes with JJ on Afghanistan, and the episodes with Mr. Scratch. It's just, you have a few good episodes, and the rest of them are just fillers. And Grey's Anatomy, every single episode after season 10 are trash. The only good 2 episodes that I can think of right now is the one in season 12 when Penny goes to Meredith's house and Meredith just literally loses it. And then on season 14 when they eat the wheat cookies, and those are the only good episodes that I can really think of. Point number 3, new characters no one cares about. You're not gonna tell me that you actually care about the new interns. The only one that I care about is Glasses. He doesn't annoy me, but the rest of them, they're just so annoying. I couldn't care less. Even the attendants, you know, I also don't care for them. The thing with Criminal Minds that if I make a video about Criminal Minds, I'm gonna probably mention it, and that is about like the female cast. I have a few things to say about it, so I'm just gonna leave it if I make the video. In Criminal Minds, every time there's new characters, they're always replacements for the older cast. For example, with Luke, I don't think Luke was a horrible character. The thing with Luke is that he was too much Morgan. He fell in when the whole Garcia Morgan, you know, flirting situation, and he literally was the replacement. And I personally don't like that. And also Morgan was supposed to be like a player, and Luke was a player when Morgan left. You know, you can't just bring another dude and make him like Morgan and we're just gonna be okay with it. Like, I'm not okay with it. No one can replace Morgan. So it just, you know, I feel like most of the time new characters, they're just like replacement for old characters, and they don't actually give them any good qualities, or they don't add anything necessary to the drama. They're just, oh well, we can't just have 3 people in here, so we have to bring somebody else new. And so they just make them literally just like the character that left, and I hate that. My 4th point is ruin characters. Making the shows long always ruins characters. In Grey's Anatomy, I'm gonna use Bailey and Alex for example. Alex, he wasn't the best character in the beginning of the show. He was a player, he was a douchebag, yes, but as the series went on, he became a better person, just overall a better character. He stopped being such a douchebag. He actually cared for easy, and then he fell in love with Joe, and he was a great husband, he was a great person, and he was a great best friend to Meredith. But then the episode that he left, the way he left, I guess it has something to do with the actor and the producers just behind the scenes, but I just personally really hated the way he left. There was no, he just left a note. That's something that he would have made back in season 1, 2, 3, but not something that he would have done in season 16. It's like his whole character development went like this, and then bam. And Bailey was one of my favorite characters back in season 1 all the way up to season 6. She was a resident, and we see her relationship with the interns, and then she becomes an attending, and I was so happy for her when she got to be chief of surgery. I was so happy, but she made so many decisions back in season 13 that I was like, who is she? Who is this new character? They completely destroyed her character. She made decisions that she would have never made. And the way she treated Dr. Weber and continues to treat Dr. Weber, it's just not the same thing. You know, Dr. Weber was like a father to her, and she treats him like that. For Criminal Minds, I'm gonna stick to JJ, because I don't know, JJ is the one that pissed me off the most, because she's one of my favorite characters. Like I previously mentioned, her whole timeline, I think she was completely ruined, and I could see that she was ruined by the end of like when season 10 was starting. Just I realized there was something going on. She started like seeing her interactions with Spence were different, and I was like, something's gonna happen over here. And then when in season 14, season 15, that she confessed her love, I thought that was completely garbage. I hated that, because she is in a happy marriage. I'm not saying that, oh, just because you're married you have to stick to your husband. That's not what I'm trying to say, but they didn't really have any problems. There was nothing for you to like, it's just, I don't know, I guess I really hated the whole thing that happened. It was just, it made her look like she was a bitch, and I don't think she's a bitch at all. I don't know. I personally really dislike the way they ended her character. Fifth point, and probably my last point, is the series finale is always trash. It's always a disappointment. I know that I can't include Grey's Anatomy on it, because Grey's Anatomy is still on season 16 and going on season 17. So I'm only gonna talk about Criminal Minds in this situation. So the ending for Criminal Minds was completely trash. Most series finales are trash. But here's the thing. What I look forward for a series finale is a goodbye. I invested a ridiculous amount on this TV show. I deserve a goodbye. I deserve them to give me an episode where they're saying goodbye to me. For example, Friends and Pretty Little Liars, which both series finales were not great. They made me feel like they were saying goodbye. For Pretty Little Liars, as much as I hated that series finale and hated the whole thing with Alex Drake, if you want me to make a video about Pretty Little Liars, I can make one. I have no problem talking trash about that show. Even though I hated all of those things that happened, they said goodbye. The last 5 minutes of the show, them saying goodbye and going on with their separate lives, married or having kids or like pregnant, and whatever they were gonna do, they were saying goodbye to them and to us, and I personally really enjoyed that. That made my heart warm. And Friends also did the same. You know, it ended with Monica and Chandler, you know, moving, you know, with their family and starting a new chapter in their life, and saying goodbye to the apartment that we all, you know, the show was basically on that apartment, so it was a very emotional thing. And then Ross and Rachel are finally together, so that was a good goodbye, and I felt like I was finished with the show. When Criminal Minds, that didn't happen. The series finale was Garcia leaving the BAU. I don't remember why, but she was leaving the BAU. So the whole episode was saying goodbye to her, but not saying goodbye to the other characters. And I hated that. It's just, yeah, it feels like season finale. I'm saying goodbye to Garcia the same way I'm saying goodbye to Morgan, every single character that has left the show, but it doesn't feel like I'm saying goodbye to Criminal Minds. It doesn't feel like, it feels like there's gonna be a season 16, but there's not gonna be a season 16. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it doesn't feel like I'm saying goodbye to them. A month of binge watching Criminal Minds just went to the trash because they didn't say goodbye to me. I used to love long shows back when I was like 14 and I was watching Pretty Little Liars, The Vampire Diaries, Gilmore Girls, One Tree Hill. I was all about long shows, the more the better, because they're great for binge watching because you just spend your time on one show and you know that you're gonna get entertainment for a few weeks, and that's amazing. You don't have to be constantly, okay, the show's about to end, I'll have to pick another one. So it's always great, but they always end up disappointing me, and I'm trying my best not to watch long shows because I always get disappointed with every single one of them. So I prefer shorter shows, and that's one of the reasons why I love Netflix. Their shows might not be the best, but I feel like when a lot of Netflix originals, you know, they don't have more than 2 or maybe 3 seasons, they know when to end their shows, and that is something that I admire. We might not agree with it, you know, I want a 3rd season of Sex Education, and I would love a 2nd season of The Society. I've never seen Anne E, but I know that a lot of people are frustrated over the fact that it's cancelled. And just there's many shows that I would love for another season. At the same time, I'm really happy that they're not doing it because they're perfect the way they are. We don't need to ruin them. We don't need that. We can just leave it right where it is, as much as we want the story to keep going. Conclusion! Woo! Hi Netflix, hi Prime, hi HBO, and networks and whatever. Stop making your shows longer than 10 seasons. I really want to sit down with Shonda, who is the creator of Grey's Anatomy. I want to sit down with her and tell her, can you stop? You're ruining your own show, honestly. Grey's Anatomy was great on season 9. Some people might disagree. When the whole plane crash happened, with Max Timmy and Lexi dying, the show should have ended there. That's it. The characters weren't the same after that plane crash, and I'm not the same since that plane crash. I think I'm done with my case. I think that's all I have to say about shows having more than 10 seasons. Let me know down below your thoughts. What do you think about this? And tell me if you will want me to make a video about Criminal Minds, Pretty Little Liars, or any show. You know what? It doesn't matter what you say. I'm gonna actually make a video about Criminal Minds because I have to. I'm gonna start today planning that video because I need to say something about it. I think that's it. Give it a like. If you enjoyed it, consider to subscribe, and also maybe follow me on my social media. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!